If it seems we've been silent, it's just because we took a spring break for 4 weeks, mostly because I've been traveling and bandwidth has not been amenable. But that doesn't mean the crypto world hasn't continued turning. And no, you're not going to get rid of us that easy as we approach the beginning of our ninth year participating in the crypto revolution. We've got some current news and some interesting factoids you may not be aware of. We love listeners, especially legal listeners. If you're here illegally, we will deport you. It's our Don't Make Us Sick Ice on You, episode number 778 of the Bad Crypto Podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
Who's bad?
Whose show?
Our show.
Whose show?
Our show.
That's right. That's right. It's the Bad Crypto Podcast, and these are our virtual streets here, paving through the information superhighway, the show for the crypto curious and the crypto serious. And we're back. It's been a month, but we're back.
You know, it's so good. I heard I saw a good post on Facebook. It says, so I went to Costco without a membership. I snuck around the card readers. I didn't want to wait in line to actually get a membership or a one-day pass. And they caught me in the store and they asked me to leave or go up to the service desk and get a membership. But instead of leaving, I demanded free products and free food. And I waved around a Sam's Club flag in the middle of the store to show how much I love Costco and I want to stay. And then when they asked me to leave, I began stealing whatever I could. And I threw frozen hamburgers at the security. They should have just let me shop there for free without a membership because I'm special.
Nope.
Metaphor?
Deported.
No, I should get to go in there for free. What do you mean?
I'll tell you, in this age of social media, when we get video from everywhere so quickly, it just amazes me how many completely stupid people there are out there.
Well, they're just indoctrinated, man. It's like they're like, oh yeah, they're kicking out. They're just flaming it. It's a big flame war right now. And then they're showing these things like, oh look, it's a senator. They're arresting a senator. Oh my God, Trump's a king. They're getting ready to have this king.
No kings. Like,
so I took it upon myself to make a store that sells shirts that says King Trump. And dude, they're hilarious. The shirt, because I took his logo from it says Trump, King Trump, put a little crown up there. And dude, I found a trucker hat that's so good, red, white, and blue. It says King Trump on it. I love it.
it's crazy to me.
We got a shirt coming that says King Trump because I think liberals and conservatives could wear that because the conservatives, we're going to laugh at that and go, ha, ha, ha. Liberals will go, yeah, King Trump, yeah. And so it's like that shirt will actually not piss off anyone.
So, speaking of shirts that won't piss off anyone, check out the one that somebody gave me that I'm wearing.
Oh, yeah, four-time indictment champion.
Four-time indictment champ Trump. It's like, yeah, he's been indicted 4 times. Yeah, he's been indicted 4 times.
Well, it's just so funny because the people on the left don't seem to have a good sense of humor. And they screech at the sky. But that's okay because the crypto markets move with or without. There's a lot of stuff going on. And I'll tell you this, in about a month, we're going to start our 9th season of Bad Crypto. Wow. That's crazy to think about. And then, so we should be, we're going to be going here for the next 3-4 weeks. Then Joel has another pit stop somewhere. And then we're going to go off and we'll probably try to get some interviews in the queue on that. Or I'll just come on from time to time and talk about some stuff that's going on in crypto and AI. I've been doing a lot of big X spaces with Mario Nawfal's group. So pretty much, multiple times a week on Mario Nawfal or Roundtable Space. I will on X doing spaces over there. There's been a lot of great projects I found along the way, a lot of great people we've had conversations with. So we're going to be bringing in some awesome people for some of these next few episodes. And then also kind of Bad Crypto plus AI. We're going to sprinkle in more AI because this is one of those emerging technologies that's impacting so much. It just makes sense. They work together so well. And yeah,
If we could really just, I think we're a short time away from just having AI versions of Joel and Travis do the show when, we're not available.
oh my God, we actually could do that. So I've made my own version of a HeyGen avatar.
Uh-huh.
And basically, you just need about a 5 minute video of you talking and talking about this and being animated. Then you can make yourself your own AI avatar. So we literally could go in and make little segments where we talk about different pieces of the news. We would just have to write the script out, but that could be kind of funny.
Well, but we shouldn't have to script it. AI should be able to do it. Okay, here are these
Well,
two
we
broadcasters.
probably can, but it's going to take figuring out some more of these AI agents. Like they can do that. Like I have a process right now where I can take a YouTube video, grab the transcript, read through it, pull out the important parts, and then create sort of a version of how I write and how I talk, and then I'll go in and do final edits on stuff. So I'm able to find great pieces of content pretty quick and sort of work through them. And it's been fun, dude. I tell you what, these tools are unbelievable. There's some things I don't quite understand with yet on how to make the AI agents fully work because some of the stuff is kind of difficult, but it's getting more and more simple. And so you can see that this is not only for developers anymore. Like, a matter of fact, I'll just say it in the last like 4 or 5 weeks, I've made 3 apps with AI coding. I made one called Prompt Daddy AI. This is a tool that basically helps people prompt more effectively, right? And I got it to a point and I said, you know what? Let's level it up. So I actually hired a developer to take it to the next level. I got it with Cursor and AI. I got this thing to about 80%. I've also built a baseball Sudoku app. You can actually see this at baseballsudoku.com. Yeah, there's Prompt Daddy AI. That's the first version. There's a much more effective version coming out just here shortly. That was pretty simple to do with a tool called Pickaxe. But I built all those logos, all the graphics. That was all made in AI. I mean, I said, I need a little smiling emoji with a pimp cane and a crown wearing a fur coat. He's a pimp and he's Prompt Daddy. And boom, that was one of the very first ones. I was like, oh my God, that is perfect. Holy cow. So it's been crazy, Joel. I think you're muted, bud.
My mic is just being obnoxious. You've
Might
seen
be.
what you can do with Veo 3 and the videos
Yeah.
that people are pumping out out of nowhere. We are entering into the greatest era of deception that the world has ever seen.
Yeah.
You truly will not be able to trust anything you see or hear. It's one
Man
thing
on
when
Papaw, nothing that Mama on Papaw sees at this point,
no,
they're gonna just be completely fooled. Like my mom was sending me something, and I was like, "You can't tell that's AI." She's like, "What? That's AI?"
yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah." Like that was like somebody sent her a video of Trump talking about the Trump Bitcoin. And
Mm.
it was a Trump Bitcoin. And she was like, oh my God, the Trump Bitcoins. I need to get some of those. How do I get the Trump Bitcoin? And I was like, there is no Trump Bitcoin. There's like Trump coin. No, no,
Hmm.
no. It was specifically the Trump Bitcoin.
He
So
said it.
yeah, so somebody created, and it was like a paper dollar thing that was converted to some crypto thing. I don't know. I think my mom at this point is like the scammer sandbox and
Yeah,
just
the biggest era of deception ever is
yeah.
heading our way. Well, let's talk about some crypto news, and we could talk more about AI and all that fun stuff. It is the 12th of June, 2025 at 4:41 p.m. Time stamping this for you guys so we can be completely current. And on CoinGecko.com, the current market cap is 3.467 trillion. Bitcoin is at 106,725, down a bit the last 24 hours after a nice 7 day run, still up 4.5% over the last 7 days. Ethereum also pulling back 5% over the last 24 hours at 2681. XRP 220. BNB really one of the strongest alt performers so far this bull run. $657. Solana 154.75. Dogecoin 18.5 cents. Tron 27 cents, and on it goes. Looking at the last 7 days, Kaya, SPX 6900, and Fartcoin are the biggest of the big winners. Fartcoin.
I'm actually looking at this right now because if you look at the overall dominance of Bitcoin, it's at 61.2%, right?
Yep.
And then if you look at Ethereum, it's at 9.3%.
Yep.
And so if I just look at all of these right here, if we look at all of even just the top five, that's $2.8 trillion out of $3.4 trillion.
Yeah.
That's just the top five. That doesn't include Solana,
Right.
doesn't include USDC or Dogecoin. I was going to go through and do the top five, top 10, but if I go in and I actually add the next five down there, that adds another 200 billion ish. That's like 3 trillion of the 3.45 trillion dollars right now.
Right.
That's right. Total market cap is 3.46 trillion. 3 trillion of that's in the top 10.
Yeah. Which makes perfect sense. Bitcoin is dominant, 61%, which means we're still a little way away from alt season. I think that Bitcoin has got to have its big run before we see money spill over into the alts. ETH could lead the way, but who knows? The
I'll say
crypto,
this. I want to say this because I've had lots of
say
experts
that,
on those shows
say it.
talking about this. Is some of them are going, we're probably not going to see the altcoin season like we have because we've had these
Maybe.
multiple runs where we've had, well, think about it. With 2017, we had all these ICOs, all these promise of all these amazing tokens going to
Mhm.
do amazing things. 99.99% of them did nothing and they died.
Yep.
Oh, 2021. Yeah, we're gonna right? Nothing. Or 2022, nothing from that really. Small amounts are doing things. And then you mean to tell me though, when one of these tokens, when they come out and they don't have very many transactions happening, or they're not, oh, you're worth $13 billion. Like, how are you worth $13 billion? It's like there's a total disconnect with actual real world value on a lot of these things. And there's like, oh no, it's worth this much. Like, are you really like is Tron worth $25 billion? I don't know that it is. Sui, is that worth $11 billion? What is it? How much money does it make? So there's a lot of people who are saying, yeah, we might not see an altcoin season like we have seen before, and I wouldn't surprise me. I hope we do. I think we're going to see a big run on Ethereum. Probably. I didn't used to think so until somebody said, dude, look, Ethereum has all the stable coins. Like they own the stablecoin market, and stablecoins are such a crucial part
Mhm.
of the space. There's no big stable coins on Bitcoin, right? Now, some of these other chains have their own version of a wrapped version of the stable coins that are on Ethereum. So I'm like, you know what? Yeah, Ethereum. Well, from it's probably going to at least 2x from here. Then I could see it. I could see Ethereum getting up to $1 trillion in market cap as Bitcoin gets up to 3 billion, 3 trillion. Excuse me. So I don't know. That's what we'll see.
This episode is Travis dominant, taking up
61%
percent.
Travis dominant.
Yeah. Pretty sure. Fear and greed index currently at 61 greed. We're definitely in the green right now, and overall people are bullish, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the bill, the genius bill is likely going to pass. I don't know, do we have a story on that? Do we have a genius bill story on the update of
Well,
where that's
today
at?
Trump was speaking at the Coinbase summit, and he
Hmm.
was talking about the Genius Act and having that thing passed. I don't know if we haven't necessarily an article on that, but the Genius Act, guiding and establishing national innovation for U.S. Stablecoins Act of 2025, which would establish a federal framework for stablecoins, which is better than having it be a CBDC,
Hmm.
right? To
Yes.
me, Joel, like, woo, wow, if we're going to get this Genius Act passed and then it has reserve requirements so you can't have fictitious amount, like sort of like fiat paper money does. And oh, here's $1 million I just deposited in my account. Oh, now I can loan it out 9 times. I just made 9 million out of that. Like, stable coins are going to kind of fix some of that, buddy.
I think so as well. And so I think that this is going to set off stuff when this bill passes in whatever form. I mean, if this bill dies, then we got
Yeah.
problems. But I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see. So this story here,
Here's what I do know, as this is the Travis Dominant show.
they're all Travis dominant shows, in case you don't know.
You
Like
know,
if
so
we were to have AI analyze the amount of time spent speaking on the show, I guarantee you that it's at least 60-40.
that's good. Well, because and now when we're doing the shows, it's like I'm just in the trenches all day, every
I
day.
know. So when you finally, like, if you lose your voice, then the show will move to Joel season.
It'll be, it'll be, and then I'll just add Trav AI. But so Senate voted yesterday 68-30 to invoke cloture. What
Hmm.
CLOTUTURE? I don't know what that word is, how to pronounce it.
Cloture.
Yesterday,
Yeah.
cloture, and they're thinking the final vote could be this time next week. So actually, the next show that we do on Tuesday or Wednesday will probably be right after that vote happened, and so we'll let you know what happened.
We'll call it the Cloture show. Yeah. So, we're looking at we're at 106 and change right now. They're seeing 107, 106 where we are now is helping to set the stage for new all-time highs. And correction is first. We had a nice run up from, I mean, look at this chart right here. On the 6th of June, we were sitting at 100,000. It dipped as low as 100,000, and then up we go back to 110 and pushing for the new all-time high. So a little correction here right now, and I think you're right that if this bill gets to be voted on in the Senate and sent to Trump's desk for signing, incredibly bullish. Look, even now, Bitcoin, live as we're doing this, under 106. So the correction continues, and people will see buying opportunities for this thing to shoot back up. Pew 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 pew.
Yeah, and if you just think about it, I mean, this is not that long ago, April 8th, about 2 months ago, Bitcoin was at 76,000.
Right.
Here we
Yeah.
are at 106,000. It's increased almost 50%, not quite, but pretty close, right? That's
Did
crazy.
you have you watched I'm in the middle of watching the Jordan Peterson Michael Saylor podcast. It's a great conversation because JP asks different questions because he's not a Bitcoiner per
Yeah,
se. And you
I
really get
haven't.
to know Michael Saylor a little bit. And I came across this tweet yesterday, which I'm going to link in the show notes, badco.in/778 to see them all, from this gentleman here, Adam Livingston. And the article is titled How Michael Saylor and Strategy Will Dictate the Price of Bitcoin, how Saylor and Strategy have figured out their game. And there's a video here. It's about 17 minutes long. Hey, did you get a chance to watch it yet, or you've been tied up?
I did not. I didn't watch
Okay.
it. No.
Well, what I want to do, I don't want to go in depth on how that's going to happen. What I want to do is invite our friend John Lee Dumas, who hosts MicroStrategy or Strategy Today on YouTube, to come on and explain this, because once you understand how Saylor has set up um, Bitcoin and the various stocks that they sell along with MSTR to raise money for Bitcoin to become the dominant Bitcoin treasury, it's a game changer. Like, so much of the future of Bitcoin could rely in finance. Could rely on what they're doing right here. So I'm gonna just leave that as a cliffhanger. Leave you
Yeah.
holding on there like Tom Cruise and MI-78. I think they're
Yeah.
up to
Well, I
that
want to
now.
I want to say this because it's like if the US government was smart, which a lot of times they're not,
Mhm.
but if they were, they would have been printing fiat paper money to buy up Bitcoin. And they wouldn't be selling and selling 200,000 Bitcoins here and there, auctioning them off for Tim Draper to snag them at super cheap prices like he did back in the day. Like they would have said, you know what? This is going to be huge. Let's hedge our bets. We got all this debt here. Let's buy up a bunch of Bitcoin.
Well, and that still could happen, right? We're seeing other examples of companies doing that right now. There's a number of U.S.
Yeah.
companies that gained earlier this week, and they are planning Bitcoin buys. The biggest among them was GameStop, right? How much did they buy for a pretty much defunct company that?
Well, they filed for $1.75 billion offering as Bitcoin Treasury is taking hold. So they're basically converting they announced Wednesday they will offer 1.75 billion of 0.0% convertible senior notes to raise money to buy Bitcoin. Like, wow, like, dude, literally, here's a company mostly defunct, and they're going to be worth, more and more money. How much Bitcoin's already on their in their coffers? I don't know, but they had some, and so it's pretty wild. Oh, it said that they're going to raise in April through convertible notes. They raised 1.5 billion, and they purchased 4,710 Bitcoin.
Hmm.
So just that again, that's gone up 30% since then, 40%, whatever it was. If they bought them in April 8th, they were 76K. Dude.
Blows my mind. Travis, as you were talking that, we're coming up on beginning our ninth season of the show. I recall when we first started talking about Bitcoin, it was around $1,000. So if you've been with us from the very beginning and you bought Bitcoin then and you've held it, you've got 100x. Imagine now with nothing but the wind at the sails, especially if Trump's big, beautiful bill passes, as this story indicates here, could trigger a U.S. debt crisis and a Bitcoin boom. The regulation, the big, beautiful bill, you've got all these companies that are acquiring for their Bitcoin treasury. You've got governments that are passing legislation around the world to acquire Bitcoin. It's nothing but up. And so I am really becoming a believer that Saylor says, next run we're at $1 million and the ceiling for Bitcoin is somewhere around 10 million
Yeah.
in
I
the
want
long
to
run.
I want to say this. For one, the NFT market is silently becoming infrastructure. That looks like an interesting post right there on the right hand
It's
side.
actually it's in our show notes. We're going to talk
Oh,
about
very
that.
nice. I just saw that. That's good. I would say this is that when I was in Vegas, I had about I think four people came up to me and was like, dude, I started listening to your show and way back in the day early, and I want to thank you. Like I'm a multimillionaire now. Like that
Wow.
happened 4 times. Four different people in different places. Like, dude, I want to thank you. And I'm just going like, wow. Like if you think about that,
How
that's
are
four
we not
people.
multimillionaires? How did
How they came up? You know what? And I'll think it's because that I've always looked at as
because we're idiots?
cryptocurrency. Well, yeah, I probably should have held more of it, but it's currency. I've received most all of my money in crypto since 2017. So crypto flows around, crypto goes, and then I've had some shitty scams that got me, and that's life, and
Mhm.
some bad investments. I went all in on some shit coins that I shouldn't have, and life goes on. But the thing is that here we are. I think we're at the point of the most fortuitous part of it because Bitcoin's going to go boom. All this wealth's flowing into the space.
Mhm.
AI's coming up. All of these things that it's like never before has one person been able to create so much with the technology at their hands. Like I'm not a super developer. I know how to do HTML, JavaScript. I did some action script back in the day. I'm not a super coder. I always used Dreamweaver to help me augment code even back then. And now it's so amazing what you can do. There will be a $1 billion company created by one person because using these AI tools.
Absolutely.
We're
No
seeing
doubt
that next
about it.
year. There's no doubt in my mind. Sometime next year, 2026, we're going to see the first $1 billion unicorn created by one dude and code.
Well, meanwhile, big corporations are still doing that. BlackRock beginning the disruption, according to this story on Coin Tribune. Real capitalizes on the tokenization of assets. BlackRock are a bunch of ass hats, and but they are paving the way for staking and tokenization with the SEC. And so I think that whether we like it or not, this is happening, and you've got some of the financial powerhouses of the world that are involved in this. On one hand, we celebrate it because we're like, look, yay, mainstream adoption. On the other, it's like, but you've got the bad guys that are getting involved in this. But real world assets, tokenized RWAs, are here, and they are going to go mainstream, whether you like it or not. It's going to
Yeah.
happen via BlackRock and some of these other giants.
And from some of the news that I've seen is that, with these ETFs, there's more money that's kind of flowing out of Bitcoin ETFs on BlackRock into Ethereum ETFs.
Hmm.
It seems like they're buying a ton of Ethereum right now. I think and that just tells me, if the richest, holding company in the world is loading up on Ethereum, then maybe that's a hint that I should tune into.
Yeah, and
Not saying that's
Ethereum
financial advice, but I'm like, if it busts through 2,900, Joel, that thing's probably going to hit 4K.
Ethereum has underperformed, and its time is lining up. You're right. The stable coins are built on Ethereum. The biggest part of the NFT market built on Ethereum. You wouldn't have L2s unless you had that L1 Ethereum, which they are, built upon. So the fact that we've got BNB and that we've got Polygon and these others is because of the infrastructure that was created by Ethereum. So I believe its time is going to come. I don't know if we're going to get the 10K we were hoping for this cycle, but I'd be really happy. A lot of people would be really happy just to break even from their investments on the last run, right? Just to get back to, okay, I've been underwater here for the last 3 years. Can I come up for air and go, all right, I got my original investment back. Now we can go up from here.
You know, XRP was like that since 2017, right? They wanted it hit $3 or whatever it
Right.
hit, and then people waited 7 years and they got zero gains. Like they lost their ass if they held on. Well, and then they finally, and it's below $3 again, but it finally hit it, right? So for ETH to do it, what is it? It's got to hit 4,500 something,
4,800, 48.
48. It's never touched 5K. I think it will touch 5K. I think it'll probably touch it and be like, ha ha ha, I touched 5K. Maybe that's it. Maybe
Maybe.
6K, 7. I'd like it to see 9K. But I do think if people like BlackRock and these different people are putting more in and there's more inflows in, but I also think the reason it's not hit it is because of the staking. They changed it to proof of stake from proof of
Mhm.
work. It's a different model now. It's not the same. So I don't know.
I don't know. So you mentioned this story on Cointelegraph. The NFT market is silently becoming infrastructure. The story proposes that NFTs aren't just speculative assets, speculative. There we go. I got the word out, but also are essential digital infrastructure that underpins gaming, AI, and Web3. And we've always talked about this, that the utility of NFTs, not the art, is the most critical part of what NFT technology really means. And I think that the market has changed enough where we're starting to see, even here it says, utility categories like real world assets, domain NFTs, and metaverse assets are showing traction. And so platforms that are following these categories are growing. The art itself, the PFPs, all of that, that's all well and good, and some of them are doing well. In fact, Pudgy Penguins has really become the face of NFTs to the masses. They now have like 2,000 Walmart stores their stuff is in, and they're building. And the Pengu token, they've already applied for an ETF. Who knows where this is going to go, but those are so far and few between. The real activity is going to come from the other utility that NFTs provide.
That's so true. I mean, we've always said that, here we all have these mobile devices, right? Digital ownership is so huge. And, so I actually chatted with this dude when we were in Vegas. He's got a company called Big Noodle, and which was really hilarious because you just make a bunch of jokes about the big noodle and the little noodle and the tiny baby noodle and the medium
Micro
noodle.
noodle.
Like, it was so funny. The dude's great. And so and here's what he said to me. He's like, what we're doing is we're basically taking AI agents and we are inscripting them as Bitcoin ordinals.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear that and you go, whoa, 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 hold on, hold on. You're taking these AI agents and they're basically going to be NFTs. It's basically an AI agent and you can buy it. And then I was like, boom, oh my goodness. So let's say you're Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is going to die someday, and his kid Siri or Suri or whatever her name is gets Tom Cruise's likeness. It could be on an NFT that then has the rights to make future Tom Cruise content
Mm,
as a legally binding thing.
mm,
Oh,
mm.
what about all these AI influencers that are all over OnlyFans and stuff now? Oh, it's an NFT. You could literally sell that influencer NFT on OpenSea or wherever, and boom, transfer it. Now you're getting the revenue. It's like there's so many implications of putting AI agents on top of NFTs inside of an ecosystem that is just mind blowing.
For sure. And by the way, you mentioned OnlyFans, and it's so interesting because they are so profitable, so ridiculously profitable. And here's what the creators that are making so much money on OnlyFans fail to understand: they're not going to make money anymore. Their time is almost over because you will be able, OnlyFans will roll out AI technology that will let you build your own custom girlfriend. She will
Yeah.
look exactly like you want her to look like. She will say the things you want her to say. And why pay a real person when you get exactly what you want? And for OnlyFans, that just means more profit because they're not paying out commissions to the creators. They have no idea. They think this gravy train of them prostituting themselves is going to go on and on. It's not. It's almost over.
Well, only hoes, they better get themselves a backup plan to get the backup hoe a plan
Yeah.
and figure it out because no, you're precisely it. Because even so, check this out. Even Stacy AI, right? The Stacy.com project we were talking about, which is Stacy AI, STAICY.ai, the sport project, is we had them on the show. They literally had Stacy was like this super hot avatar that their engine sort of she is the frontward speaking face for the engine behind the scenes, right? And for one, she's super hot, the brunette, big boobs. They were actually a lot larger, and then they got the community was like, you probably ought to make her boobs a little more reasonable. And so, but that was exactly it. Like the ability to make AI influencers and make AI girlfriends and do all this other stuff, we're going to be so close to demolition man, right? Whenever it's like, oh, we don't have sex anymore. We just have our own sex robots. You think sex robots plus AI plus, avatars, overlays, VR, AR. I was like, oh, here's my sex robot. Today it's Jenna Jameson. Tomorrow it's Elle McPherson. Next day it's Jennifer Aniston. Like you're gonna put overlays on top of your sex doll, have sex with it, and just hope that it doesn't malfunction and rip your dick off. Probably something like that.
All right, listen, hey, we promised a few factoids, and our producer Lisa has come up with five factoids that you might know, but you might not, even if you've been in, crypto for a few years or so. So we'll just talk about these here. The first one is fact number one: an estimated 20% of all Bitcoin is lost forever. People have lost private keys. They've passed away without sharing access. They've thrown away hard drives with fortunes on them. Travis, that's about 3.7 million BTC, hundreds of billions of dollars lost, never to be recovered. So I think that's, when we talk about there's 21 million, not anymore, gang. There's not.
Until quantum computing breaks the algorithm and finds a lot of those for people, which will probably happen.
Perhaps.
They need to figure that out. Also, Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of the bitcoins, still unknown, right?
Factoid number two.
Some people say they know him. John McAfee said, "Listen, people, I know who Satoshi Nakamoto
Yeah.
is." Some people have said it was Craig Wright.
Nope.
Everybody else said that is wrong. There's been lots of people who said that it could be them. They did a whole show on Netflix. I saw Jack Dorsey could be Satoshi Nakamoto. Who knows? I hope that nobody ever actually knows because if we figure it out, that dude will be kidnapped.
Yeah, you wouldn't want anybody to know at this point. And that wallet or wallets have about 1 million Bitcoin that have remained untouched this whole time. So Interesting factoid.
I
Number
want before,
three.
before number three though. Just think about that. Think of the fortitude and discipline he had. Just every 10 minutes, mining a block of Bitcoin,
Hmm.
mining a block of Bitcoin, mining a block of
Well,
Bitcoin.
he's a believer. I mean, he
Well,
believed
he
in the thing
created
and
it.
created it. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't get bored with it and stop. He just kept doing it. There you
Okay,
go.
now number three.
Yeah, number three. Yeah, number
Number
three.
three, number three, number three, number three. Ethereum Classic is the original Ethereum blockchain. In 2016, a major hack exploited a vulnerability in the DAO, and it resulted in the theft of $50 million worth of Ethereum. So Vitalik and the community proposed a hard fork to recover the stolen funds and restore network integrity. However, blockchain purists like Charles Hoskinson believe that the blockchain's immutability was paramount and opposed the fork. The resulting split created two separate blockchains, Ethereum, which reversed the hack, and Ethereum Classic, which maintained the original transaction history. And Ethereum Classic is still with us. And let's see, what is the price?
$17.11.
There you go. 1711
Yeah,
today.
and the all-time high was in May of 2021. Got up to $17 and wait, no, $136. $136, and it looks like it's making a little bit of a rise again. So I would not be surprised to see it doing some things again in the future.
It's classic.
Wow.
Factoid number four, 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 four.
Wow.
That's for you.
It's almost
I
that
set you. I set you up. I gave you a big old four, 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 four,
Oh,
and
that's really
you're
nice.
still
Even in
dicking around with Ethereum Classic.
now I'm down the Ethereum Classic rabbit hole. It was $13 back in April. Like, man, that thing's could easily double in price. I'm gonna think about that. Matter not financial advice, but man, that is true. You know, they literally they got a hack. There was some vulnerability, and they go, oh, let's roll it back, and they did. And then Charles Hoskinson said, well, I'm gonna go take my ball over here and make Cardano. You guys, screw you guys. Um, next factoid, he said
Four,
four.
four, 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 four.
Takes a lot of power to mine Bitcoin. And you may have already heard the energy needed to mine Bitcoin is on par or greater than the same amount of power that some countries like Argentina, Norway, New Zealand, or the Netherlands use. Pretty crazy about that. And what you might not know is that Bitcoin's energy usage is greater than all of the airline industry and all of Google's global operations. That sounds like a lot. They're really trying to throw that fear in there, but there's a lot of use case now of renewable energy. There was that one Dirty Money show with
DirtyCoinTheMovie.com. If you haven't seen it yet, go see it, and it will allay the fears and show you how we
yeah.
can have clean energy with Bitcoin mining.
I would say the biggest fear, though, to me, is that basically six mining pools run all of Bitcoin.
Hmm.
That's not decentralized, really.
But well, I mean, the pools, but you have thousands and thousands of
You
miners.
have thousands of nodes, but they're all rolling through those pools. It's a we should have somebody on to talk about that because that's a real thing.
Let's do that. And
Yeah.
factoid number five, 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 five. I bet you didn't know this one. I didn't. Dogecoin and Litecoin are both merge mined. What that means is auxiliary proof of work allows miners to mine both Dogecoin and Litecoin simultaneously using the same computational power. And this has been going on since 2014. I did not know this. I did not know about merge mining. Now I do. And now you do too. What do you think?
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know
Can I
what?
gripe about something?
Well, can we talk about this real quick? I think Doge mining is a smart thing, probably more so than Litecoin mining. But if you can do both of them at the same time, might as well.
Yeah, I think Doge mining, Doge is going to succeed. I believe that. And I also think Dog go to the moon, being the leading Bitcoin meme coin. I think as Bitcoin rises, we're going to see, the true decentralized meme coin is, it's got a lot of legs. It's got a hell of a community.
I remember investing. I think, well, yeah, I invested 50 grand into a Litecoin mining operation that never gave me one Litecoin. So that was awesome. Shout out to our Puerto Rican buddy. Not one Litecoin have we ever gotten in like 4 years from that investment.
Is it actively mining?
I don't think it's doing anything.
Because Yeah, we talk about that offline. I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but that sucks. I want to
I know.
gripe. I want to gripe about Gemini. Okay, I opened up a Gemini account probably, I don't know, 4 years ago, and I think this whole time I've had something like four Litecoin in it, which is worth, I don't know, about $300 or so. And it took me probably 2 to 3 years to verify my account with them. They kept asking for documentation, information. They wanted to know where the funds were from. I'm like, this is really heavy-handed. And because the bank account that I used to originally fund it, I no longer have, it was
Ah,
even more problematic.
right.
And it was just the most annoying thing ever. I finally told them, I'm going to talk about you guys on the show and how bad this customer service has been. And within a week, they were like, here, you can withdraw your funds now.
Nah. And so I'm still
So
going to talk about you guys.
yeah, I'm still going to talk about you. So EBOD, never using Gemini again.
Mm.
That's all I got to
Which
say
is going
about
to
that.
sadden them because they're like, "Oh, we were big fans of the show."
Yeah.
But people were big fan. There was so many people big fans of the show in 2017, 2018, and then Google banned us, and then Twitter banned us, and then we keep fighting back, and we're like, "Screw you guys! We're just going to keep doing our own shit," and that's the way it is.
Maybe we
So
just need to self-ban or, like I'm banning us.
yeah, I'm banter. I'm gonna banter
All
about
right,
it.
we've gone on too long, Sir Lord Travis, and there's
Did we?
much
How
to
long
talk
is
about.
too long? Is there quantifiable number for this?
Yeah, longer than people want to
It
listen
seemed like
to.
it was only 59%, Travis. We need to level this
I don't
up.
know. I would like to put it through AI and see what the Travis dominance
What
is.
percentage of this episode is Travis?
You're like a girl. You just have a lot of words.
I got a lot of good words, man, because
You
I am
do.
very
You have
intelligent.
excellent
I
words.
know
This
I'm
has
intelligent because I wear a big hat.
been a great ride, and looking forward to celebrating our ninth anniversary when that takes place. But we will catch you guys next week, and we will have more witty banter, more Travis dominant talk, and hopefully Bitcoin will really kick into the bull run, and we can all be celebrating as our portfolios move up. That's what we want, only up. And until then, do the thing where
Dominate Travs.
you remain not good, right? Isn't that what we want?
You forgot? You've been gone so long.
Remain not good.
Yes.
Isn't that how we end the show?
Or you say something, maybe we simplify it, just say stay bad.
Who's bad?
The Bad Crypto Podcast is a production of Bad Crypto LLC. The content of the show, the videos, and the website is provided for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. It's not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. You shouldn't make any decisions as to finances, investing, trading, or anything else based on this information without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional financial advisor. Please understand that the trading of Bitcoins and alternative cryptocurrencies have potential risks involved. Anyone wishing to invest in any of the currencies or tokens mentioned on this podcast should first seek their own independent professional financial advisor.